Welcome to Running is Bullshit. I'm Stuart.
And I'm Amy, and you're listening to the podcast that loves to hate running. This is episode 159, and this week we're talking about mythical creatures, arse bones, foot stings, unexpected diagnoses from stitches, and apparently now we're repairing our own shoes like little elves.
We are basically now cobblers as well.
Yes.
Amy, first of all, isn't it hot?
It's too hot.
We got that out of the way. Don't need to mention that again. Every conversation everyone in the UK has had for the last week. We don't need to. And we will, obviously. We are going to also start off with a shout out to Pinskin Man and the arrival of Pinskin Baby.
Hey.
Oh.
The prophecy foretold it. If he pinned his skin 10 times, as in a full moon, a child would be born to go on to do great things. It has been foretold.
Yeah, I was going to I had a very brief thought of get like a AI to make a photo of a pin skin. And as I was thinking it, a pin skin, but no, I'm going to get blocked if I put in that prompt. And then I thought, as soon as I thought about it as well, like that, even if I didn't get blocked, that would be a horrible, horrible image. So hopefully there's no pin skin baby. I think that hopefully those nappies are pinned to themselves and not to the baby. But congratulations to Pinskin Man and Mrs. Skin Man.
Mrs. Skin Man. Ugh.
I don't know. Pinskin Woman, I guess.
Pinskin Woman.
I don't know. I want to talk about my shoes. I don't like talking about shoes usually because shoes are really boring. There's going to be a bit of shoes in this episode. I've got some new shoes. They're Sauconys. They're Saucony Ride. And I've bought like the 14, the 15, the 16, and the 17 because it's easy. All right. I know once one pair of shoes run out, I go on the website, I look what the newest Saucony Ride is, and I buy them because it's just the same. It's just what I do. I don't know if other shoes would be better. They probably would, but I know these ones are fine. I got these ones. I bought 9.5s the last 4 times. These ones got 9.5s, too big. Why would you make the shoes in the same series different size? I mean, and like really, really too big. So I sent them back, which is a ball ache. Got some size 9s. Still a smidge too big. But I can't bother to send them back again because I don't want to because, I'd have to go to the post office, which is like half a mile away, and that's too much work. So I've got these shoes now. And they're fine. They're nice and they're very colourful. They're like yellow and orange. I tried to buy black shoes for the first time in a long time. Didn't have those available. So I had to buy bright, silly yellow ones. But just annoying. They're the different size. And I don't understand why they would do that.
I hate when shoes do, because I buy just the same shoes. It's just easier, isn't it? If you like a pair of shoes, I just buy the same shoes. Yeah, and Ultra do that as well. So like I got their on road. I had a couple of pairs of their on road, which are a bit shit anyway because they always, we're going to come on foreshadowing. They always tend to get a hole in the toe. I've talked about this before. It pisses me off, but I do like. I used to like the fit of them. I bought the next model along, and they're way too small. And ironically, they are too small in the toe box. And if you know anything about Ultra, is they're meant to have really wide toe boxes, and they always give me a blister on the side of my little toe because they're too tight in the toe box. Like, what is going on? And there is 6.5. Like, how big are my fucking feet, man? I'm a size 6 in normal shoes, so I buy a 6.5 in running shoes. And how is a 6.5 too small for me? I'm 5'2". How is 6.5 shoes too small for me? Like a bloody clown or something? What's going on?
You are the only person in the world who says 0.5 and not and a half.
Yeah, because when you look at them, it just reads like 6.5. 6.5 shoes.
You're literally the only person
I guess
that does
so.
That.
Okay, that's okay.
That's really weird.
Not really unique. Yeah.
Also on my shoes, I took them out on their first run. Got dog shit all over them. Tried to do like a little cheeky, the dog goes, you give it a little, it's on the side of a path, it's fine. You give it a little cheeky kick into the bushes, into the undergrowth, that's fine. It was a lot wetter than I thought it would be. It didn't really kick anywhere, it just kind of went splat. So now there's, kind of a permanent stain on the side of those. I've given a bit, they don't smell of dog shit now, so that's fine, but they are a little bit brown in places. And also, just, the laces are too long. That seems like a really basic one to me. Like, surely, how many people put these shoes on in testing, tied them up, and the loops nearly basically extend all the way to the ground over both sides. And that's too long. Why are the laces that long? Because I have to do them up quite tight because they're too fucking big. So I have to do them quite tight. And the laces are just too long. I don't understand. That's a very basic one to me. Surely in testing, you have tested your shoes. People have done them up. And then they've gone, oh, these loops are a bit long. It's fine, we'll leave it. And I have to tuck them in all the time. And that's annoying.
So did you get dog shit on your loops?
No, just on kind of the top of the big toe. Where you kind of give a kick.
Yeah.
It was not a good kick. So that's my shoe drama. Other people might talk about performance of shoes and the weight of them and whatever plate they're in. I haven't got any kind of plates in there. This is why I talk about shoes. This is the interesting things for me about shoes. We will talk about shoes a bit more later on. If only there was a way to prevent those toe holes.
If only. That's what we're all crying out for. Help us, please.
It's not a good teaser. That is what we're talking about later on.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that. Let's talk about the last episode very briefly. Danny Norman messaged and said, Amy identifying and calling out the macho BS. Forget trail running. Its poorer cousin cross country is the worst. Guys who weigh 55 kilos when dripping wet and couldn't fight their way out of a brown paper bag, always harping on about how tough cross country is, and by association means they are too. You're running around in puddles.
Exactly. Like, come on. I have nothing more to add to that. It's okay. Like, this is not... And this is the thing. This isn't an insult. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's okay to not act all like macho running around through puddles in nature and smelling flowers. Like, that's okay. That's a good thing, you know? Just chill out.
Also, from my experience, a lot of the cross-country events I do, they're not that tough. Some of them have been really nasty, but I don't go on about how tough they are. I just go on about how funny they are. And yeah, they are difficult. It doesn't make me tough. It just makes me wet.
Okay.
Sorry, that made you uncomfortable.
Okay. Yeah, let's move on to tea. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Ooh. We've partnered with Bird and Blend Tea, which means we'll tell you what tea we're drinking. If you like the sound of that, if you're not feeling sick to your stomach right now, you can go to runningsbs.com/tea, click on the links and buy some tea if you want. Stuart, what are you drinking?
It's too hot, Amy, so I'm not drinking any tea because I'm not a psychopath.
Really?
But however, I did just get the email the other day. They've re-released Coconut Masala Chai, which is a new name, but it says everything you need to know about it in that new name. Coconut Masala Chai can't be bad, can it? I'm going to get some of that in.
It does. I don't know about the masala aspect. Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, chai already has, like, the spices and stuff, so...
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think you're reading masala and you're thinking about curry. It's not that.
Oh, okay. Is it not?
It's not like a tikka. No, it's not like a chicken tikka masala.
No, I wasn't imagining a tikka. I was imagining imagining. I don't know what I was imagining.
It's spicy coconut tea. That's it. Okay, that's fine. Okay. That'd be good as a cold brew. Do some cold brews. That'd be nice. What are you drinking?
So, I am drinking a tea. I am being a psychopath. Freya was like, why are you making a tea? I come out the office sweating and I was like, it's so hot in the office. I can't stand it. And she's like, oh, do you want me to put the aircon? We got aircon. Do you want me to put the aircon on in there? And I'm like, no, it'll be too loud. And then I'm like boiling the kettle at the same time. She's like, what, you're making a hot drink while you're sweating? But I am for the sake of the listeners, because I nearly lost my mind when this email came through from Bird and Blend. I have Hello Kitty matcha. I just
Jesus.
Look at that.
Yeah,
so I bought it as a bit of a gimmick. I didn't even care what flavour it was. It's pink apple pie. And when it arrived, because you didn't really look what flavour it was. When it arrived, I was like, ooh, is that going to be a punishment tea? That sounds like a punishment tea, because whenever they try and make something like apple pie, it just doesn't taste very nice. Anyway, I brewed this. Honestly, it's so nice. It sounds silly. It tastes like an apple pie. You can taste the apple, like a bit of cinnamon, but you can almost like taste the pastry in it. And Freya had a sniff of it when I was like bringing it back through, and she's like, that smells like an apple pie, and it does.
She liked a sniff of your pink apple pie.
She had a sniff of my pink apple pie, and it smelled nice.
Got her nose right in there.
Yeah. So yeah, I would recommend this. It's not a punishment tea. I thought it was going to be a punishment tea. It's absolutely banging. Sweet apple and cinnamon matcha that brews pink, of course. Yeah. Pink apple pie. Hello Kissy with the pink
like the
apple pie.
Sweet feeling of pink apple pie.
It's really nice. Honestly, it's really, really nice. So I just wanted to share that.
Right, we get it. Jesus.
Yeah, it's good. So pink apple pie, Hello Kissy. It's very good. Yeah.
Talk about running instead.
Oh God.
Sorry to bring the tone down.
Right. Am I doing?
Yeah, that was the segue. Yeah.
Okay, it has been too hot though, hasn't it? It has been too hot running. I've been having to get up so early to go for a run, especially because I run with Pippin. So I've been having to get her up really early in the morning, which she absolutely hates doing. She will not get out of bed, and when she does get out of bed, I'm trying to like force her to eat her biscuits because the last time when she was younger, I took her out not for a run, just for a walk without eating, and she had a fit. So I have to like force her to eat her biscuits, which she hates doing anyway, but she hates it even more at 5 a.m. She's just not in the mood. So yeah, and even at sort of by the time we get out at like 5:30, 6 a.m., it's still been really warm lately. But it has been quite good because running with Pippin, she can be a bit reactive sometimes, not in an aggressive way, just in like a very loud, overexcited barking way. But any adverse weather, whether that be rain or heat, is like -10 charisma on her. She takes heat damage and she's not so reactive. So she's been a very good girl. She's been hot, but a very good girl. So it's all like evened out. It made me laugh the other day though, because we were running in an area we were running around Cardiff Bay and it was quite exposed. And it was really early, so it was still fairly cool, but she was panting a bit, and everywhere that normally has water outside, they didn't have water. It wasn't like a super long run, so I didn't carry any with me, and I'm like, don't worry. I knew this spot, like 3/4 of the way in, where there's going to be water, so I kept saying to her, don't worry, Pippin, we've got a drink soon. I assumed she was really thirsty. I don't know whether anyone else's dog does this, but we finally got to this bit with the water, and as we're coming around the corner, I'm like, because she knows the word drink, and I'm like, drink coming soon. Got there, she just looks at it and then just looks at me like, I'm not bothered. Like, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
She was not bothered.
Oh, yeah, I run with William and he'll be panting and like pulling it hard. Quite a warm morning. I could see his tongue hanging out. I'm like, oh, there's some more. Have a drink. He's like, nah. I'm like, what do you want? You've rejected the stream water. You've rejected the water in a bowl. I don't understand what else you want. Yeah. And then as soon as he gets home, he's just like, has to drink desperately like he's never done in his entire life. I'm like, you had your opportunity.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So but yeah. So I've been doing some actually nice runs with Pippin. She's been very well behaved. Also, last weekend I went for a run with friend of the podcast Jen Danger Harding, living up to her name. Took me on like the maddest run ever through the woods near her, and it was there was no path. She was convincing me that we were on a trail. But it wasn't, like, it was, there was no trail. And at one point she's like, do you want me to go in front? Because I know where I'm going. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't know where I'm going. There is no distinguishable trail here. And all my arms
A path
and legs,
is a state of mind.
Definitely. All my arms and legs were just, like, completely scratched up from this run. Like,
Excellent.
completely.
That sounds like a good run. I like it.
Yeah. You know, like, that thing of making a tribute to the trail gods or whatever. It was it was like 10 goats.
They received their blood that day.
They received a lot of blood. I needed a transfusion afterwards. There was that much blood lost. So saw a unicorn on the run as well. It was
was that a result of the blood loss?
This was before the blood loss. Okay. So I went past some horses and there was the most beautiful whitest horse I've ever seen. And it was like a unicorn without a horn. You know?
Oh, okay. It was a unicorn without a horn.
Yeah, I think it must have lost its horn or something. But I have never. And I was going to Jen. I was like, "That looks like a unicorn, doesn't it?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Do you know what I mean? Like, it looks like a unicorn." She's like, "Yeah, I guess so."
Now, I am really sorry to ask this, and I just feel like I have to ask the obvious question to get out of the way. Yeah. Was it a horse?
I mean, if you had a unicorn, you wouldn't like advertise the fact you had a unicorn. You sort of sort the horn bit out because, stories about unicorns, people like feast on their blood and stuff for immortality and, all those sorts of things. So I wouldn't be advertising I had a unicorn. If I had a unicorn, I'd be sorting it out so it didn't have the horn anymore.
Was there like a little plaster on its forehead? Because that would be a giveaway.
No, but now you say that, it had a really dodgy fringe job. Like, the reason I went over to say hello to both these horses, because their fringes were whack. Somebody had just, like, I don't know, like, do horse people, do you cut your horses, do you cut the hair, or is it like a dog? Do you take it to, like, a horse groomer to have its hair cut? Because whoever did this, it was like a proper hack job. Somebody just, like, got some shears or something and just got, maybe the horse did it themselves, like, I can't fucking see, like let's sort this out.
I suppose you don't want to risk taking it to a groomer. Exactly.
Exactly. So it had a proper dodgy fringe, and I was trying to like touch its fringe, and it wouldn't let me wouldn't let me near it. So yeah,
Okay.
so I think that it's more evidence that it was in fact a unicorn. Yeah.
Okay, that's all, I had to ask the question. I don't mean any disrespect by it. I don't want to. I'm not calling bullshit on your story or anything. I just felt like I had to get that out of the way.
I don't even have a decent picture of it because when I took a picture, it just didn't look the same in the picture. It didn't look as like a unicorn in the picture. You had to be there in person to see it and witness it.
Yeah, camera phones don't capture magic well. That's fairly well known.
No, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that. So I saw a unicorn. Got all scratched up and saw a unicorn. And then this morning I went on a very early morning run near me and some trails near me, and these trails are just like, it's not super hilly as in sort of constant like uphill. It's just very, I mean, you've run there before, like it's very sort of sharp, steep uphills, and I'm always thinking they need to just put some steps in. Somebody just needs to come along and just put some steps in, because some of those, I don't know what the gradient is, but it is steep. It is steep, and that was not very nice in the heat. Even though I left at like 6 a.m. this morning, it was not particularly nice in the heat. So, yeah, that's
like the way someone needs to just put some steps in. Like that's a really easy job. You're just like, well, why can't someone do that?
I just think it's just not appropriate. Like it's just too steep. Like there has to be a point where something goes from being a hill to needing assistance and steps, or a rope or something. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
I think that's one of those cases. Anyway, what have you been up to?
Amy's getting scratched to pieces, seeing unicorns and demanding other people do work for her. She's very much back, ladies and gentlemen. She's back on the stories that only she can tell. That's what you're here for. Before any running things, just need to let you know about the agricultural show I went to. William, he got second place in the most handsome dog category, and I'm very proud of that. I know a lot of people have been unhappy, have been, potential of a letter writing campaign. I would want to say there's no need for any of that. I gotta say, the most handsome dog wasn't that handsome, frankly. It was a Springer Spaniel. Springer Spaniels are fine, nothing wrong with them. This wasn't a particularly I wouldn't say a Springer Spaniel is a handsome dog. So I'm not sure what these categories really meant, whether it was just like best male dog, because there's also prettiest bitch, which everyone always laughs at. Does that just mean
the poor
nicest?
Springer, like listening to this, thinking, "What do you mean? Like, what do you mean I'm not the most?"
Well, the thing
handsome?
is, like, if you talk about pretty dogs and handsome dogs, they're very different things. And male dogs can be pretty and female dogs can be handsome. So I don't know how much they were going on that, or whether she was just picking the dogs that she liked. But she picked William second place out of about 20 dogs, so I'm very pleased with that.
That is good.
He's a good boy, and he is a handsome boy. I did a race this week. I did the Cosmoston Relay race, which is kind of a really big one in South Wales, particularly for my club. It's the 8th time I've done this race, and that is now the race that I have done more than any other. And it's one of those ones I will always do every year because it's a team race. It's a relay. You run faster with a baton in your hand. Everyone knows that. That's science. So that was really good. Had a lovely time doing that. And I nearly went to my first new park run in over a year. I don't really understand. I haven't really been going to many park runs recently. Haven't done a new one since I went to Bushy Park last year. But unfortunately, I made the mistake of going out in Cardiff when the Stereophonics were playing. And the trains were absolute chaos. And I got 4 hours sleep because I got home so late and I couldn't be asked to drive anywhere. So that's what I get for going out. I should remember going out is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Going out places in the evening in a city is a bad thing fundamentally, and I should stop doing it. So I've learned from that mistake. Amy, should we talk about shoes and the fact we're little cobbler elves or for something like that now?
Yes. So I mentioned a while ago now, actually, that I was trying this thing called Pair Ups, which is a company that sends you things to repair your shoes. So you can get a little kit. It's if you're on the website, it's like something made in the 90s. They've got like a very low key, like all their effort is into making these little kits. I don't think they make like a massive profit from it or anything like that, because they're more about sort of sustainability, and I think they're affiliated with Green Runners in some way. So their big thing is about sustainability. They're not some like massive corporation, which is really nice. So you order these kits. I mentioned this before, like the kit's like 13 quid. I think that includes postage, but maybe not. Comes in a little box, and you get some glue with that, some like special glue for your shoes, like a little scrubby thing to scrub all the dirt off before you glue them. Your choice of, it's like the tape you get. What's that tape you get when you have an injury and stuff? It's that tape stuff.
KT tape.
KT tape, yes. You can choose your colours with that.
Like the singer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a weak joke.
And then you glue it on. And then you glue the tape on, smooth it off. They've got like some really good tutorials on. It comes with like a little tutorial thing, but you can watch on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. I mean, it's like all stuff you could buy separately yourself if you wanted, but they put it all together for you in a box, post it to you, and tell you how to use all the stuff. So I think it's for 13 quid. It's very good. So I put this on my shoes a few months ago now. I'd say this is probably like 3 or so months ago. I can't remember. And I was a bit dubious about it. I was like, is this going to work? Because I put them on my hybrid shoes, which I tend to wear a lot on like gentle trail and when it's muddy and wet and stuff like that. So I was like, is it going to survive? And it has. It hasn't budged. Like, it absolutely hasn't budged. And even if like it did budge after like a month or so, I'd probably just repair them if I can just extend the life of the shoe, because they had massive holes in the toe box.
Yeah, what was the repair you did?
So I had like holes. This is the repair we'll always have to fucking do on ultras, but holes in the toe box where my big toe is, like either side. And I've had to throw shoes away for this reason, because once the little hole starts there, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it actually interferes with your running, because your toe is pretty much like poking out of this hole. So it wasn't a massive hole. It was not too big, but that's the repair that I did. And yeah, it just hasn't, the tape hasn't budged. I'm really impressed. So I want to like fully recommend pair ups to people, particularly if you're interested in like sustainability and, you know, that being a motivation for repairing your shoes, because that's a big part of their ethos is sustainability. So, and it's quite cool. Like I went for some tape that sort of contrasted with my shoes, some like bright pink tape, because I thought it could look kind of cool. So yeah, I would recommend them, and I can say I actually do. I didn't want to recommend them too much when I thought it was a nice idea, but I was a bit worried it was just going to fall off straight away, and I'd be recommending them and people would perhaps buy them and it was shit, and somebody would come to my house and murder me or something with their shoes, with their holy shoes. So yeah, I do recommend pair ups. It's actually worked. It was actually a thing that worked. So yeah,
very nice. Yeah, and by coincidence, I think someone sent this to me, and I'm really sorry I can't find where it was. I was looking around the usual places, but I'm pretty sure someone mentioned this. Trainer armor is the thing that I have gone for. And as it turns out, yeah, we've both done this fairly recently, so we thought we'd put it together. It makes sense. And same thing with Sauconys, probably all shoes, frankly. Same big toe hole. And, you know, I always wear these Sauconys, not because I like them, because I know I don't hate them, and sticking with them is easier than taking a risk, as we all know. So the big toes always poke through the upper within a few months. And I saw these, and they're called the Big Toe Hole Preventer. And I thought that makes a lot of sense to me. I can understand what that is. Had to get them. They were £7.50 with postage and just a couple of patches to stick inside the shoe to prevent a hole from your toe that is big. It's very, very easy. They even come mounted on a bit of cardboard which you cut out and slide inside your shoe, and so it gets the exact spot on the top, you know, where your toe's going to be. I think I might have put one of them in a little bit too central, and I want to wonder if my toe's going to maybe poke around the side of it. That was my own fault because I did it a bit too quick. But it seems like a very good product, so that's also an option there from Trainer Armour. The Big Toe Hole Preventer.
Nice.
For £7.50 seems worth it. Now, on mine, I get the holes on my shoes, but they don't ever split any wider than yours. So that sounds like it's not as drastic. They just look a bit shit. So it'd be quite nice just to try and kind of stop that in advance. Would be quite nice, because it does make your shoes look a bit shit, to be fair. And I'm really sad. My old Saucony 15s, they have long been relegated to dog walking duties. They have finally split apart after 1,000 miles of running and walking service. Salute emoji to the 15s. The problem is now, my next oldest pair are still perfectly good for running. Like, they have done they have done like 800-900 kilometers, and they feel fine to me. So that they're probably not actually fine. But does that mean I think their time has now come to make them the dog walking shoes? And that just makes me a little sad.
Yeah. Do you remember all that propaganda? It was like, you can only wear your shoes for 100 miles, and then you've got to like get some new shoes. The Nike propaganda was like, if you put more than 100 miles into your shoes, you're gonna get injured. You're gonna have a really bad injury. And it's like, some people would be changing their shoes literally every month. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, some of the like really expensive like carbon shoes, they do have, because they do wear out and they do definitely change. But like normal shoes, I think it isn't like 400-500k maybe for a lot of them. They say is kind of the limit, but it's clearly you run in them until they don't feel comfortable anymore. Surely, but like these ones have done like 900k, so it probably is quite a lot, and they're probably not great for my feet, but they feel fine. But now I need a pair of shoes to go dog walking in, and I don't want to wear my newer shoes, so I guess I'm gonna have to relegate them. I just feel a little bit sad about that.
Yeah.
At least the old ones, when they became dog walking shoes, were already a bit shit. And they lasted a very long time, but the new ones are fine. Oh. So it's just the dilemmas you have to go through as a runner.
I hate throwing shoes away as well. Like, I know like if you've got shoes that are in okay condition, you can donate them. But I mean, often my shoes are falling apart when I get rid of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Like, I throw them away, but I always feel really bad for throwing shoes away. It just feels wrong. I don't know why. Like, just chuck them in the bin.
Yeah, mine are an absolute state when I throw them away to make me feel better about it.
No one wants those donated. It's like, we're going to donate these for like refugees so they can go for a run. I'm like, mate, they do not want these shoes. Like, they've been through enough. They don't want these shoes.
That's taking the piss. Yeah, that's the opposite of a donation.
Yeah.
You're actively working against that charity at that point.
Yeah.
If you want to actively support something that isn't a charity, you can go to patreon.com/runningisbullshit and donate us some money every month. Thank you to Gabby last week for setting a bizarre new benchmark. At least it was short. That's the best we can say about that one. No new Patreons this month, but don't worry everyone, Amy's back on the song, and so here's everyone that gave us money this month.
Sandra Hines, Penny Simpson, and Jonathan Carter, Jay Howells, Matt Caffin, Julia Page, Mark Willis, Derry, Drew Edwards, Rich Skype, Anthony Howe, Bill B. Ferguson, Chris Whitmore, Tara Milligan, Tony House, Victoria Dick, Elliot Line, Paul Hibbert, Ruth, Katie Elizabeth Rees, Matt Jazowski, Steve Robson, Madonna, Karen Blake, Tony Bays, Sophie Jacks, HP, Ian Thompson, David Irwin, Claire Davis, Cap Everett, Raymond Quinn, Jason Nesby, Amanda Murray, Hi J, Matt Newbury, Tom Alcock, Lem Martin. Spencer Aldred, Nikki Jones, Elizabeth Shaban, Graham Hackland, Stuart Stevens, Kiara Evans, Kat Williams, Charlie Neverson, Gail Seal, Kevin Scott, Jason Spinks, Victoria Cousins, Tony Boyle, Kat Abigail Hardman, Debbie Hurley, Angela Foster Swales, Andy Robbins, Daniel Braun, Victoria Magnus, Samantha Luckland, Gabriel Thomas Naya, Karen Hamilton, Matt Lees, oh god please stop singing, Shambolic Adult, Rachel Bullmore AP, Alice Newstead, Sherry Grubbs, Nikki Genders, Rachel Bentley, David Teetle, Maria Wicks, Matt Jones, Neil Denton, Steve Peake, Matt Burrows, Matt H, Cheryl Curran, Ivor Hewitt, Ian Hales, Claire Dina, Lee Wood, Ruth Perkins, Andy Nichols, Eric Perez, Larry Warren. On to your messages, so don't forget to get in touch with your running bullshit on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Just search Running is BS and let us know why you particularly hate running this week.
Craig Rex is very on topic, that not that we particularly planned it this way, just how it was. And he said, all your trainers in your main rotation hitting their mileage more or less at the same time. Now you see, Craig, you have fallen for the propaganda. He's gone, these have reached precisely 400k and they are now useless. Yesterday they were great, today they are useless. I must throw them all out at once. Don't believe it, Craig.
No, you're just falling into the big running propaganda, the Nike propaganda.
Just running them until your feet are incredibly uncomfortable and you get slightly injured. That's how you know to change them.
Yeah. The time-old method, you know?
Exactly. Wait till you're slightly injured.
Yeah. Run barefoot. You don't replace your feet, do you? It's endless running then. Anne Garnish, lovely, says, falling over on a very crystalline granite is BS, but seeing puffins is not. Lundy half marathon.
So it's a very relatable one so far, isn't it? The first line is like, oh, of course, crystalline granite is the worst.
Lundy half marathon gave with one hand and took away with the other. It always does, Lundy half marathon, famously, doesn't it?
God, everyone who's listened to this just shaking their heads being like, oh, Lundy half marathon. God.
Quote unquote, exciting elevation. What does that mean? But actually a very highly recommended race. Okay.
We all know about it, it's fine.
We all know about Lundy and its exciting elevation. I cheered a girl over the line who was having the experience I had last year. She looked at me deadpan and just said, I am so over this, I just don't care anymore. We've all felt like that.
That part is very relatable.
Yes, especially at Lundy Half Marathon. We've all felt like that at Lundy Half Marathon. God, it takes with one hand.
It is so nice. It is so nice though when you just kind of have that experience with a complete stranger and they just look at you and you just see the misery and fury in their eyes. Yep. It's very satisfying.
Mm-hmm. Misery,
just how sad they are.
Misery does love company in this sense, yeah.
And it loves the Lundy Half Marathon. But the puffins make up for it, don't they? So
they do. Well, it gives you the puffins with one hand and it trips you over with the other. So it's like, yeah.
At Hugh_Torrin says, running sizes for men are BS. After driving over 140 kilometres in a single day to multiple running stores, I could not find a single men's shirt or hydration vest bigger than a medium. I'm 193 centimetres tall and don't want to dress like a belly dancer. Okay, first of all, you're very metric here, and neither of us have literally any idea how tall 193 centimetres is. Is that tall? Is that not? No idea. Almost don't care, frankly.
I think it is tall. I think.
Anyone who uses centimetres to measure their height, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. But at least they're consistent. At least they're consistent because they're using K. Although they're talking about driving, which you're not talking about running, so that's
you don't
bad.
Drive in kilometres.
No.
It's nonsense. So I'm sorry, I can't have any sympathy for you. And also, I'm pretty sure belly dancers don't wear just hydration vests that are too small for them. I mean, that's not the places I go to, certainly.
But also, your hydration vest shouldn't be covering your belly, should it? Like that.
I don't think it should.
That's the correct fitting, isn't it?
Actually, yeah, your belly should be uncovered.
Yeah.
This is a very confusing message, this.
Very confusing. Heather Louise says, breaking my arse bone from trying to actually train for a half marathon. And then still running the half marathon with the broken bum. Was it Lundy half marathon? Were you the person crossing the line?
Classic.
I'm
imagining broken bum. I'm thinking of like a cartoon, someone bent over with like their arse entirely bandaged up.
Yeah.
Not like all around the front, but just around the arse on the back, and they're like bent double. That's how I'm imagining a broken bum.
Like in a cast with like a crutch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Solid cast, but just over the arse.
Yeah.
That's almost certainly a real thing. Erica Varys Doggett says, poison plants on the trail are BS, especially poison plants that you didn't know how to recognise by sight. I feel like you should educate yourself. If that's a thing that you could be running into, that's entirely your own fault, to look for poison things.
Yeah. Are you eating them, or is this one of those plants that you shouldn't touch? Like, what do you mean? Like, are you having like a munch on some berries at the side of the trail? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, shouldn't be doing that. Erica also messaged to complain about balancing hydration and electrolytes, and apparently getting that very wrong, and having a miserable time up a mountain, and also running out of fuel. What we're saying is don't go on any long runs with Erica. It's clearly very dangerous. They're running out of water, they're running out of food, and they're just rubbing their arms against every plant they see.
I mean, that sounds like a standard run for me. That does sound, that's quite normal.
You haven't been poisoned yet, to be fair.
No, I haven't. I haven't actually been poisoned. So, I mean, if we lived somewhere with a lot of poisonous plants, that would have definitely happened by now. I don't think I'd be... Poisonous plants, dangerous animals, I don't think I'd be alive at this point. But no, not yet.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure it's on the horizon. Ken Smith said, having cramp at 2 a.m. in both thighs following running in the heat is bullshit. Oh, do you mean like after you've been running and you go to sleep and then you wake up with like the most horrific cramp in your legs and your feet?
Being woken up by cramp is so bad.
But you know what though? Like, whenever I've done an ultra, well, mainly ultras actually, not just a hard run, but like an ultras, and I have cramp in the night, it gives me horrific nightmares. Like, I have horrific nightmares after ultras because I'm just so... I guess my body's just restless and I'm aching. So I have a horrific nightmare, wake up, and just everything's aching. And then you wake up the next day like you've hardly slept because you've been in so much pain. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never had cramp in both thighs. I get it in one calf, and it was usually for me. It was often after swimming, but like in a calf is bad, but both thighs is really bad because presumably they're pretty big muscles for most people. That would be horrible. Yeah, that's another fun thing for ultra runners. If there's any new ultra runners out there, anyone that's training for their first one, there's another thing that people don't tell you. After you do it, obviously you can be completely knackered and you will sleep like absolute shit that night. Yeah. You will not feel at all rested or relaxed in the morning. No. You will just sleep like absolute shit and you'll get nothing out of it. So there's something else for you to look forward to. We also had some messages. It seems Gabinea got something small and stingy in her shoe, which then stung, causing her to, in her words, scream, ouch, 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 clutching my foot, rolling in the verge and ripping my shoe off, all the while whimpering. Too much? Sounds about right to me. I'll probably do the same. Luckily for her, Cat Abigail Hardman was on hand to remove the stinger from her foot and save the day. And that is true friendship, isn't it?
That is, yeah. Well, what was it? Was it like an insect or was it a
some kind of
plant?
Insect? Yeah. Would you remove an insect stinger from my foot, Amy?
Not without vomiting.
Okay.
But I'd try. I'd try my best. Yeah.
I would get a photo of it first.
Yes.
And then, I'd pull it out.
Yeah. With my I'd pull it out with my bare teeth.
Yeah, we'd be doing it for content. We'd probably be videoing it and being like, oh shit, we can get 5 minutes out of this. Yeah, come on. No, keep it in. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Exactly.
We've had a few emails as well. First up, email from Hannah Kish says, in training for a hilly ultra, my husband and I sometimes run reps of an approximately 2 mile long hill just outside our city. Midway through my second rep on our most recent go, a certain urgent biological need struck. From his perspective, I simply got very slow suddenly. From mine, I had to hide behind a bush for a cathartic wild poo.
Oh.
And there was soft grass to clean with, and I managed to avoid all the poison oak. Well, at least you know what it looks like. Well done. My third rep went extremely well. I assume that's the back on the running. Amy, I have to disagree with you. Outdoor poops can be invigorating and empowering. Thanks for the opportunity to share the story, which literally nobody else in my life wants to hear.
I mean, we didn't want to hear it either, to be honest.
I don't know. I can't remember particularly Amy being massively against wild poos.
I think maybe this is back when that time in the woods and I had to go to that place that is now not probably coincidentally shut down. It's probably that one.
Okay, could be that.
I mean, to be fair, like where I needed my wild poo, the thing is, I'm not sure where you're from or where you live, but I feel like a lot of places in the UK, because the UK is so densely populated, you're not usually very far from another person. So wild poos I find are quite terrifying. Whereas if I felt like I was in the middle of nowhere and definitely no one was going to stumble upon me having a shit, I think I'd find it invigorating too. It's quite like visceral, isn't it? I think, and empowering. Unless the empowering bit for you is like knowing somebody might find you and being like, fuck off, I'm shitting here. Like that could be empowering, I guess. But yeah, that's my fear. That's my fear about, like, my fear about wild poos is being discovered, not the poo itself,
Yeah, empowering is an interesting word. I feel like you go into work the next morning and you'd be like really like efficient. You'd be cracking on with someone's like, "God, you're doing really getting on a load of work today." You're like, "Well, I did have a massive poo on the hill the other weekend, and I just feel fantastic. It's really just given me a lift." So perhaps that's all what we need to do. If we're ever in a bit of a rut at work, just go and shit in the woods somewhere.
Like while you're at work, just go find somewhere.
Yeah, just walk out of your office.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, go to the bushes behind the car park. Big old shit. Back in the meeting, kick some ass.
Yeah. Go back into that meeting with one sock on.
Yeah, this is now the High Performance Podcast.
Oh my goodness. People are going to clip that for like TikTok and they're going to like, it'll be us saying that and the clips will be like businessmen in suits and like Wolf of Wall Street and like, and like money and stuff. And it's, and it'll have like 1 million views. That's how it's going to go.
Or over a clip of someone being arrested and like led into a police car with the trousers around their ankles.
Oh god, right. Karen Hamilton. I might need to go for a shit during this. It's so long. Hi guys. Hi guys. So emotional attachment to events is pretty bullshit. I DNF'd the Gold Coast Marathon yesterday. It was my first ever DNF. It was definitely the most sensible choice, but I wasn't prepared for just how much my feelings afterward were going to suck. I felt sick and horrible, and we think I just misjudged conditions and fucked up my hydration, which is a very boring reason to DNF. It isn't my biggest race for this season, that's 8 weeks away, so pushing on might have screwed up the main training block, but I was so depressed about it yesterday, which is dumb, but here we are. I think it's because I know I could have totally still finished. I pulled out at 31k and I still would have had time before the cut-off to walk the last 11. But that wouldn't have proven anything, it would have been a miserable death march, and stopping was totally sensible. However, there's so much finish at all costs and give it your all mentality, especially with road marathons, oh my god, yeah, that I'm really struggling with the feeling that this was a huge cop-out and I should have soldiered on like some stupid martyr or something. I mean, why? I'm not even going to win anything. Literally nobody cares other than me. I'll get over it, but just right now I'm feeling really sad and shit about it all. Also, the point where I dropped out was right at the finish line because the course ran back through the race precinct before the last 11k loop. I did that on purpose because it was sensible to drop out near the finish where all the infrastructure was, but it did mean that when I sat down on the traffic island in the middle of the road to give up and have a little cry, it was right in front of the biggest concentration of spectators, so that probably wasn't ideal. Had some lovely girls trying to pep talk me up again from the side, or you can do it, come on, and so on, but I wasn't having any of it. Thanks again for the content, Karen. I am a big believer in, if you could finish it, if you could mentally push through and finish it, you would. If you can't finish it, you won't. Like, there's a reason why you stopped. Even if there'd only been 5k until the end, if you need to stop, you'll need to stop. Like, you'll just know. Like, it's like an innate thing in yourself that you'll know deep down whether your body can cope with doing that. It could have been really dangerous to carry on, even if it's just 11k. And if it wasn't dangerous, it would have been really miserable, like you say. And why? For what reason? Just to say you've done it?
Yeah, that's why I look at it. I'm like, yeah, perhaps you could have done that 11k. You might be able to walk that 11k in a couple of hours or more. But why? You wouldn't have got any more out of it. You would have come out of it worse than you did. And especially if you're right by the start finish. Because if you get 5k into that, then you give up. Getting back to the start finish is a ball ache. You might actually have to walk it, in which case you've done the distance anyway. But yeah, absolutely. We're big believers in DNFs at the right time on this podcast. And so, yeah, sounds like a very good decision.
Yeah, and you can still, I think, especially with longer events, and I think you said this was like a road marathon, so it's a little bit different, I guess. But I think especially with trail running and ultras and just trail races in general that are a bit longer, you can just say, I had like a really good few hours run. I enjoyed it. I guess even with road marathons, you can say like, I really enjoyed the atmosphere. I enjoyed the bit of the run I did, and I'm done. I didn't finish it, so I'm not getting my medal or whatever, but just enjoy the bit you did, you know. That's what I always think about ultras. If I have to drop out of an ultra, like, yeah, I had a really, like, I enjoyed those 30 miles, 20 miles, whatever, and that's me done for the day, you know. It's just one of those, like,
Actually, a lot of those ultras and trail ones as well, they'll just give you the medal at the end because they've got them anyway.
Yeah.
They can't do anything with them. You've bought the medal. A lot of time, those kind of races, they'll just give you one anyway because why not? They don't care.
Yeah, and like, the more you get out of that mindset of like, oh, just push through, the more you'll think, you know what, I've just had a nice day out, or I've had a nice few hours doing this, and when it started to feel really shit, I stopped, because that's a sensible thing to do. Like I said, if you could do it, you'd do it. So it's obviously the right choice you made. And when you look back,
there are times to push on.
Exactly, and I felt like that with when I had to DNF the Edam during the Pegasus Slam, because I had only, quote unquote, only had 11 miles left, and I look back at that and I'm like, why didn't I just carry on? Why didn't I just sit down for a bit longer? And I thought, no, because you can look back at that and find all the reasons you could have continued, but I knew at the time, like, I was really, I couldn't keep food down, so no, it was would have been
and it would have been 4 hours probably.
Yeah, with no food, like literally no food. It was like pretty much dangerous. So yeah, it's easy to look back and think, oh, maybe I could have continued, but if you could have, you would have. So yeah, big believer, big supporter.
There's times to grit your teeth and push through it, like, you know, maybe a short race where you're trying to run fast. That time you have to do it. Other times, just don't bother. I think it's probably harder sometimes to DNF. Making that decision is a hard one. And I think doing it is kind of good practice for next time.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's good training and all those sorts of things, or just a good few hours out. Yeah, fine. No biggie.
Final email today says, hi Stu and Amy, you may or may not remember, I sent an email a few months ago moaning about suddenly developing a side stitch whenever I ran. I was delighted to hear that you provided me with no advice when you read this out in the following episode. That does sound like us, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It's the kind of thing that we would do. They said, guess what? Because nobody in my personal life is dull enough to care, I want to share with you the fact that I have sustained a pelvis stress fracture and a metatarsal stress fracture in 2024 because I walk and run on my tiptoes.
Well, you deserve it then. What are you doing that for? Try to sneak around. What are you doing?
I seem not like fully right, you know, ballet point, but I seem you're one of these like very, very heavy toe runners, which I always think sometimes I see people running really on their toes and I think, it looks like they're trying really hard to do that. It doesn't look like a natural gait for them. Some people do have that as a natural gait, but then some people you can just see it like that looks difficult.
They've probably been told like you need to run on your forefoot, and they've taken that really literally. But also, thank God we didn't offer advice. Thank God we weren't like, oh no, it's fine. Just drink more water before you go for a run.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Thank God you saw a medical professional.
Yeah, it turns out you can break your pelvis. Fuck me. They continued, basically my pelvis is constantly tilted, so all my muscles and shit are out of balance, and a weak core equals greater risk of side stitches, so that's where that came in. Anyway, I've only found this all out yesterday, managed to train for a half marathon and run Ibiza half marathon with a bloody fractured pelvis. Wouldn't recommend Ibiza half marathon, by the way. Need more about that. Fuck yeah. Don't give us things like that. We need to know why it was bad. The moral of the story, don't do a runner training plan. Ooh. I am now firmly in the anti-runner, anti-AI, anti-PDF downloaded from Reddit brigade. Yeah. As all they focus on is constantly increasing mileage and making you feel like a failure if you don't Goggins your way through every injury. They never told me my pelvis was out of alignment. No, they don't do that, do they, funnily enough? So once I can return to running, I'm going to actually invest in a human running coach. Incidentally, I did try to sign up to your Patreon, as mentioned in my previous email, but I got banned from Patreon for some reason. That's not suspicious. So maybe another stress fracture will make me sign up. Well, all that money you're saving on races. Best wishes, Heather. Thank you so much. I love you found this out yesterday and like, right, I need to let Amy and Stu know this.
Yeah. Also, how do you get banned from Patreon? How does anyone get banned from Patreon? Are you involved in money laundering or something? Like, what is going on?
Some very abusive messages in the members forums. I don't know.
But I'm a big supporter as well of getting an actual human coach rather than, well, I guess like people can use the AI stuff and the running plans, whatever, but with the caveat of I think you already have to know a fair bit about how to train. You almost have to be a bit of a trainer yourself, so you can take what the training plan says with a pinch of salt.
You have to know about yourself. You have to you have to know that, I think.
Exactly, or have like. Maybe it's useful if you've already had years and years with a coach and you have I don't know. I'd always say like an actual person. It's got to be better because we're all really different, and what works for one person isn't going to work for another. So there's going to be loads of injuries and issues coming out of people now using Runner. I had like an advert pop up on my Strava that was like, oh, let's get your training plan sorted. I'm like, let's not, like, leave me alone. I imagine that there's going to be a lot of this. It's the bullshit running news. Bit of a slow news week this week. It's quite hard to find anything.
This is all good news. I know. Yeah, look, there's a couple of websites we usually look at, and they had literally no stories for the past 2 weeks. They're clearly pissed off on holiday. But these are good stories. This is solid BS running news.
Yes. So firstly, I found an article in the Irish Times. It's actually a really good article. It's a bit random, but I do recommend going to the show notes and clicking through and reading this article because it's actually really good, really well written. And it's about how old-fashioned baking soda has become the new running super drug. Now, I have heard a bit about baking soda and people starting to use baking soda in their running, and it sounds absolutely disgusting. I can't. Have you ever made a cake where you've accidentally put like too much baking soda in, or like you just haven't? You probably haven't, Stu, because you're an expert. Like
almost certainly no. But I've made some really shit cakes in my time.
Okay. So. But yeah, like putting you'll know, like if you put too much baking soda in a cake, it tastes minging, and you can taste the baking soda. And you're like, that is minging. All I can taste is baking soda. So how people are drinking this shit, I don't know. So this has actually been characterized as a perfectly legal running super drug, and has been flagged as potentially, because there's not, the caveat here is there's not a massive amount of research around this, but a potentially performance-enhancing aid way back in the 1930s. So this has been known since the 1930s. And if you have a look through the article, you'll see that, like, especially sprinters, quite a few sprinters are using baking soda. So, it lists various people who are using it at the moment. So, from the article, I'm going to try and do the sciencey bit. So if you're listening and you understand this stuff,
the science.
Here comes the science.
That's a really old reference to an advert.
So, a small amount of alkaline sodium bicarb in the bloodstream can help buffer the hydrogen ions, reducing acidosis and the sense of exhaustion, thus improving performance. In turn, more lactate production can increase muscle power output. So I think what it's trying to say, or what it is saying, but I struggle to understand, I think what it's saying is it stops you feeling tired, right? Like it's sort of stopping you feeling tired.
It's good for running. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's as much as anyone understands, I'm certain.
Yeah. However, before you start like just spooning this shit, there is danger. So the article also says getting sodium bicarb safely into the bloodstream is a bit tricky, as any excess will soon cause digestive issues, including cramp, bloating, and in worst cases, explosive diarrhea, fast cancelling out any performance gains in the process, of course. So what I'm imagining is lots of people, because obviously everyone's different, aren't they? I imagine like what might be the right dosage of bicarb for one person wouldn't be the right for another person. So I'm imagining everyone just reading, you should take like a spoonful mixed with X amount of water. Everyone doing that, and then suddenly lots of people at parkrun having explosive diarrhea 1K in. That's what I'm imagining is going to happen.
Amazing.
Love it.
Yeah, it's definitely something I've heard from like Run Club Fast Boys. They're like, you're on the bicarb? Yeah, I'm on the bicarb. Or, I was going to give that a go. And I can just see someone like for the first time at a race being like, oh yeah, I'll take a big hit of that. Just like for the first time before an important race, and just like shitting their guts out. So that'll be very, very funny. I look forward to seeing that at some point. Also, I liked in this article, it says a 2021 study found a portion of the effect seems to be placebo driven. So, I mean, it's still helping. So
yeah,
perhaps it does still help, but I almost feel like I would give it a go. If it's that, I think I would build it up slowly and be a bit careful with it, but just a bit of bicarb. I've always got it in the kitchen. Why not?
Yeah, and if the worst...
It's got to be better than fucking beetroot shots, hasn't it?
Oh,
Jesus.
my goodness. When I've tried beetroot shots before, I literally felt like I was going to have a heart attack. Like, that, never again beetroot shots. But I think the worst that's going to happen is you're going to shit your pants. That's okay. It's a normal day, isn't it? That's how it is.
Well.
So, yeah.
Somewhere where you wouldn't want that to happen, and this is also a great story, a US couple has made history at the Wife Carrying World Championships. This is something I feel like I've known about for ages. It's very kind of, do you remember Transworld Sports?
Yes. Yeah.
That was an amazing TV program. That guy's great voice, just talking about all these weird sports like lumberjacking or some kind of weird Peruvian archery. And this is wife carrying. So Wisconsin's Caleb and Justine Reusler clocked a course record at the competition in Finland, winning Justine's weight in beer as their grand prize. They won the 253.5 metre obstacle course in a course record time of 1 minute 1 second. This year's event saw one of its largest turnouts ever, with 200 competitors from 18 countries and 2,000 spectators lining up to watch. Despite the name, there are no gender or marital status requirements to compete. The wife can be anyone willing to be carried. The most common technique is the Estonian carry, where the wife rides up in an upside-down piggyback with her legs around the carrier's neck. This leaves the carrier's arms and hands free for tackling the course. I love there's as a name for the type of carry, the Estonian carry. I absolutely love this. And yeah, generally it is quite big, beefy men and tiny little wives just like clinging on for their lives around his neck.
It is swings and roundabouts because you want to... if you're winning their weight in beer, you want to make sure they're big enough to have enough beer to win. But at the same time, you don't want to have it too heavy. So,
I mean, even so, it's going to be like 50 kilos of beer, which I guess is quite a lot.
Yeah, to be fair, that probably is quite a lot, isn't it?
It does sound like a lot of fun. I don't know anyone tiny enough for me to carry on something like this because I'm not at all strong. But I feel like it would be a lot of fun to do or watch.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I guess. I think at one point they have to be submerged in water as well, which sounds absolutely terrifying. I think it's only a metre of water, but yeah. And finally, I guess there's some good news stories this week. The birds are back, and this time they're coming for our races. The Foyle-Friendly Fell Race in Denbighshire has been cancelled because of buzzards' attacks on local people. Nigel Crompton described looking up and seeing the buzzard fly away from him after swooping down. He said within seconds it circled round and headed straight towards me. My initial instinct was to run faster and get out of there, but several times I felt and heard it swooping down against the back of my head. Apparently you're not supposed to run. I know that now. I was dive bombed several more times, but found that by stopping and facing it, the bird was more likely to stay high. He raised concerns about the junior athletes being targeted by the bird, saying thoughts quickly moved from survival to the race in just a few days. What a great account. What a great account.
Survival.
I mean, these buzzards, we've talked about buzzards before, they sound lethal. It's only a matter of time.
Last episode, I said I'm going to keep putting these stories in, and we've got one next episode because I think they're fantastic. But to cancel a race, I'm sorry, Everett, we can't go there because a buzzard is attacking people. I just love this guy. Yeah, you're not supposed to run. I know that now. He's clearly just got like scratches all over the back of his head. If you look it in the eye, you might be all right. But
you got to face it like a man.
Thoughts quickly moved. Thoughts moved from survival. I just need to survive this.
But no,
think of the children. Won't somebody please think of the children?
He stopped thinking about himself and thought about the race and those young athletes being swooped by this evil buzzard. Oh my goodness. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, terrible. Now if you're swooped by one of these birds, you've got to look it in the eye like a man.
Take it like a man.
Yeah.
I mean, just kind of slightly on the tangent of this, I just love the fact there are junior fell races. As kids as young as 7 are doing fell races. I think that's brilliant. I don't think they're really scaling mountains and things or going out of sight, but I just love the fact they're like little kids doing nasty mountain races. It's very fun. That sounds good.
They'd probably be brilliant at that because you just see kids like just running up things and running around
they don't give a shit, do they?
No, like endless energy. Yeah, they do not give a shit.
But you should avoid them being attacked by animals.
I mean, they could probably take them on as well. Push them out,
that's my understanding. I don't have children myself. I don't really know the rules around them, but I'm pretty sure wild animal attacks is off the list.
Probably. That's why I don't have
Happy to
kids.
be corrected.
It's no fun, is it? Like, if you can't make them fight a buzzard, what's the point? You make them fight one buzzard, and then social services are coming round saying that you're endangering your kids. No. And I'm like, I told them to look at them in the eyes, but they weren't listening. It's not my fault the kid's stupid. Anyway.
Your child's covered in blood, blah, blah, blah. God, my back.
Anyway,
miss
Stuart,
my
are you
son.
fighting any buzzards soon?
Hopefully not. Finally, the fell race I've been going on about is happening next week. I realised the last time I did this was 2021. It was my only ever DNF. In over 200 races, that is the only time. And it was only because I got timed out. I didn't get to a checkpoint quick enough. That's the only reason I didn't get to finish it. So I'll be trying not to do that again. I did a recce of it a few weeks ago, and I got to where the checkpoint will be in about the time the checkpoint is in. So hopefully race day helps that a little bit.
Yeah.
Might get me moving a little bit quicker. We'll find out. How about you?
No, I haven't got much planned at the moment. I'm hoping to be moving soon. So, yeah, I'm trying to, like I said before, I'm not really signing up for anything at the moment because...
Okay, Jen, if you're listening, could you take Amy for a few more runs, please? That would help our content immensely.
My legs have only just healed. I've only just taken the bandages off. So yeah, local runs. I'll try and find some more unicorns or other mythical creatures. I'm thinking like griffins. Dragons too obvious. Dragons don't exist.
Yeah, no,
Like-
yeah. I mean, you see them all the time from here. That's a bit
like
boring.
a griffin, a minotaur, maybe. Like to try and find like a maze or something and find a minotaur.
Centaur, be nice.
Maybe. We'll see.
If anyone's seen mythical creatures on their runs, please let us know.
Yeah, exactly. If you've enjoyed this bullshit, please visit runningsbs.com to see the show notes and links for this episode and the whole back catalogue, as well as links to our merch store, Patreon, and social medias. Bye!
Bye. She liked to sniff of your pink apple pie.